turned off, and then you can regrow a missing tooth. Of course, once again, the Mighty Mouse was voluntold to test this out, and the mice grew regrew teeth.
Human teeth? Mice grew human teeth.
No. Welcome to Waywut, your weekly verbal double take. This is a rabbit hole podcast where a couple of old guys do moderate to shallow dives into various topics, ranging from true crime, paranormal, sports, pop culture, or anything else that we find interesting. We drop episodes every Tuesday, and then on Fridays if we feel like it. You can follow us on Facebook, X, TikTok, and Instagram. We appreciate you joining us. Now that we got all this self-promotion stuff out of the way, here we go. Hello, and welcome once again to another episode of Waywut. My name is Daryl, and I am the HPHIC head podcast host in charge. And here I am with the guy who spends his days trying to find the cure for male pattern baldness, Jason.
Oh, I've come up empty every single day.
Yeah, you can always
all
do
the cure is a hat. Yeah,
you always do the peanut butter solution. You remember the book from back in the day?
No,
it's a kid's
Daryl,
book.
it is getting pretty bad. It's getting pretty bad to the point of I'm actually thinking about shaving my head.
Ooh, well, you have my full support. Whenever you want to do it, let me know. You can go to my barber. Since now I'm bougie and I have a barber now.
I have a barber too.
Yeah,
I've taken every kid to that barber.
Does yours serve whiskey?
Yeah, I don't ever get it though.
Oh, well, does yours serve whiskey for free with your haircut?
Yeah.
Oh, well, fuck you. All right, whatever. Is your haircut going to be free because you're with me?
No, it wouldn't be free.
Exactly, asshole.
I do have a question about that. Do you drink your bourbon while you're getting your haircut?
No.
Okay.
I usually get to my appointment early, and not because I got a haircut yesterday. Show it off to everybody. Be like, oh, look.
Oh, yeah, the sides look good. Sick fade, man. Sick fade.
Now, I went yesterday and had a glass of Four Roses on the Rocks.
Kind of calm the nerves.
No, it was after work. I want a whiskey. All right, we're getting sidetracked. I mean, we're not an advertisement for nothing. So, all right. So, if you recall recently, about, God, I don't know, 5 episodes ago, Jason did his episode on, horrifying science experiments.
Mm-hmm.
So, to dogpile on them with you, I'm going to do a science rant.
I love science!
All right.
Trust the science is a sentence we've heard nonstop for the past decade or so.
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
More so the last 5-6 years.
Yeah, especially those. I trust science. But these past few years definitely helped me to not trust scientists.
You think Fauci spilled everything he knows?
Mm-hmm.
Science is all about discovery. And as we grow technologically, our ability to discover things grow. Unfortunately, the egos, political influence, and greed of scientists has grown as well, right along with it.
Uh-huh.
Discovery goes out the window if it contradicts the established science that people have their career, political identity, or just their reputation based on.
Yes.
Everyone that, listens frequently enough, I would hope knows that I don't like the FDA.
No.
If you want to understand how much I don't like them, you can go back and listen to the episode I did on them. It's called the FDA. So,
pretty good one.
Yeah, not even going over their whole hastily conjured together vaccine that we'll find out more about in probably 20 years. In that episode, I went over all of the money that flows into that organization and all of the people that run it. So automatically, anything that comes out of that, even though they're supposed to be like a science-related organization, fuck you, don't trust you. You're bought and paid for.
Yep.
We can look at climate science. There are loads of people that fall on either side of this. And many, even on both sides, are just like, trust the science, because they all have their own favorite scientist that has their theory on it. Because there is scientific evidence on both sides. But more of the problem here are the advocates that get some sort of fame or notoriety because of their stance on either side. There are businesses, NGOs, and individuals that get tons of money because of climate science, and that's usually on the one side. It's all like, yes, do wind power. Wind power's awful. Oh, do solar. Solar sucks,
Even
but
worse.
It's like, hey, give us money and we'll research it. And then everybody pockets money and then changes. Then, of course, there are just personal political opinions, which you wouldn't think that would have much influence on this, but whenever one side's saying one thing, the other one takes the other, and politics is the new religion now, so whatever the other side says is like evil and wrong.
Gotta do the opposite.
Is it? No, that's a terrible idea. It's like, let's lock up all the pedophiles. The other side's all like, no, they're just child-attracted persons.
They have rights.
But what you come across with all this is like no one's really willing to look at all of the entire picture, or at least none of the talking heads are. Do I think pumping insane amounts of smoke and chemicals in the air is bad? Yes, I do. Do I think that people can have a long-term impact on the Earth's environment? Yes, I do. Do I think we are the sole impact? Absolutely fucking not. The Earth itself can and will alter the climate with a single volcanic eruption.
Yeah.
Space itself can alter the Earth's climate in an instant with a meteor impact. The sun, which is essentially like 98% of the mass of our solar system, is also like the powerhouse energy generator of our solar system. Solar flares and the plasma and the magnetic field of a coronal mass ejection is theorized to have an impact on weather as well as trigger volcanic eruptions and earthquakes. You're going to tell me that our fluctuating temperatures are not going to be influenced by the sun's fluctuating temperatures?
The main thing that regulates the temperature on this Earth? Yeah.
The thing that regulates the temperature of the solar system. And speaking of magnetic fields impacting earthquakes and volcanic eruptions, let's take a look at a guy named John Nelson. John Nelson was a radio engineer that was studying the impact of the sun and solar system on shortwave radio. He was able to see the impact that the sun, solar weather, and just in even planetary alignments have on radio waves on Earth. It is said he could predict good and bad radio weather based on planetary alignments with 85% accuracy.
Wow, pretty good.
Now, how does mainstream science treat his findings? They disregard it because it's a bit too close to astrology. Seeing that planets lining up in a certain way impacts solar weather, Earth's magnetic field, so on and so forth, and just anything on our planet might give some credence to the New Age hippies that believe that those same alignments and stuff can influence people. Now, I'm not willing to say either way if that's the case, that the alignments of the planets or whatever can affect people. But the fact that mainstream science outright ignores his findings and the years of him doing it, because it's too close to pseudoscience, is just ridiculous. I mean, it is asinine. Science should be proving what you believe is correct based on evidence, not slandering scientists and their findings.
Yeah, because what do they have to back it up to slander his findings?
That it's close to fucking pseudoscience and stuff. They'll start trying to draw the astrology card. Because the thing is like it is clearly evident. I mean, Jupiter has such a strong magnetic field that it impacts ours.
Yeah, it's fucking humongous.
Yeah. That being said, you could look at something more recent, like Joanna Olson Kennedy. She was conducting a taxpayer-funded study for the efficacy of puberty blockers to treat children with gender dysphoria. She initially refused to publish the results of her study because she didn't like the results.
This can't get out.
After finding that puberty blockers did not lead to mental health improvements for those children, she decided to suppress the information since it didn't line up with her opinion regarding gender-affirming care.
Oh my God, that's not how that works.
So yeah, trust the science, folks.
Jesus Christ.
But I don't want everyone thinking that I'm anti-science, because I am not. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a scientist, but eventually I figured out I'm way too sentimental for that shit. You got to have a bit more of a cold streak that I don't have. But that being said, I really like following some scientific advancements. So today, let's take a look at what's new in science. So this is going to be a more positive, not, make your butthole clench episode.
Okay. I'm pretty surprised that they disregarded Joanna Nelson's.
No, she tried to suppress it. It was her study. She wanted it to show that puberty blockers were an effective way to treat the mental health issues that go along with gender dysphoria. And so she used puberty blockers on these kids. They were still fucked up. Go figure. And she's like, well, shit, if I do this, then it's going to go against what I think of, about gender affirming care. So I'd rather people not know the truth.
Wow.
Her politics outweighed her scientific curiosity and integrity.
Well, kind of like Fauci and all them other idiots too.
Shit, Fauci's a mad scientist. That motherfucker, he might be a little he's too into the science. He's like, hey, what happens if we make this kind of virus? And I think he had some really fucked up AIDS research at some point. But, but stop trying to drag me into the negative, fucker. I'm going into the positive. Asshole.
This is where I live.
Well, get your bald ass out of there, because here we go. I want to start with one that is still in its very early days, but I like the idea and I look forward to seeing the results. Shouting out another old episode, Chilling True Coma Stories, I went over how I believe that for the most part, we are our memories. So naturally, that makes Alzheimer's and dementia especially scary to me. When you lose your memories, you are essentially losing yourself.
Yeah.
Well, in the United Arab Emirates, they are using artificial intelligence in an effort to combat the memory loss that comes with Alzheimer's and dementia.
I forgot what I was supposed to tell him.
At the Mohammed bin Rashid Center for Government Innovation, they launched clinical trials for synthetic memory technology. So what they do, so they're teamed up with an AI software company out of Spain, and they get stories from the patient's family members, like memories. And then they get stories from the patients themselves on like what they can kind of remember. And then they also get like photographs. And then they take all that and they use AI to recreate a version of those past events that were described by family members and that person.
Okay. Like a recreated event?
Yeah. Like they're essentially trying to create a memory, a visualization of that memory, a synthetic version of it.
Okay.
Now, by simulating these past events, they seek to create an improved environment for the people suffering from these diseases by enhancing their psychological and emotional responses, while also hopefully stimulating different neural pathways in the brain to kind of improve their memory.
I forgot what I was supposed to tell him.
A lot of this scientific advancement, this is all psychological. This is not any kind of like drug thing. This is just people just trying to use tools that we have now to make the best out of a bad situation. Furthermore, one of the real difficulties of these conditions itself is the impact on the family members of the patients, who are often, forgotten. They hope that by doing this, together with them, it'll strengthen the bonds of the family members and the patients as they get to view these simulations of these past events together and then talk about it and hopefully stir up more memories.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Now, as someone that uses AI to reduce the mundane stuff I have to do every now and then, as well as someone who plays with it for fun, making silly puppet horror videos, I have to say that this is by far my favorite use of AI that I've come across. I love the fact that even if it doesn't successfully, help them retain memories, it's creating this this positive environment. They're saying that even now in the early days, they're seeing positive responses from the patients just in their mental health. But it's still very, very early days in this clinical trial. So there's no, they haven't reported any findings on any memory improvements.
I forgot what I was supposed to tell him.
How far along are the patients? Are they pretty far gone?
It didn't tell me that.
Okay.
I mean, I imagine it's still kind of early if they can retain some memories. And here's the way I also kind of look at it is even if they don't recover the actual memories that they try to, synthesize, this is now a way for them to hold on to it. Here's a machine that they can sit there and play things and see oh, that was me, that was this person, and so on and so forth. It's kind of like 50 First Dates.
I was about to say that. Just in a book. A book and a video. That was good.
Well, let's stay on the Alzheimer's front, but let's see what they're actually trying to do about tackling this disease at a biological level. Now, Jason, you may not appreciate this, but mice are once again our heroes.
Erroneous on both counts.
The Institute for Bioengineering of Catalonia, along with West China Hospital Sichuan University, have used supramolecular nanoparticles to partially reverse Alzheimer's, as well as repair damage to the brain's vascular system in mice.
Wow. They do wine mixers and experiments.
Wait. Oh, Catalonia?
You've never seen Step Brothers. It's the Catalina wine mixture. It's a joke.
It's not the same thing. Catalina and Catalonia.
I know it's not the same thing. That's why it's a joke.
That is awful. That was terrible.
It's a fucking Catalina wine mixer.
If you would have seen Step Brothers, you would have laughed.
I would not have, because there's still a difference between Catalina and Catalonia.
I know. That's why it was a joke.
It was a bad one. All right, first, we'll start off with what is a supramolecular nanoparticle? And I know I'm probably going to mispronounce things every time I do a science episode. I do. Keep in mind, I was a history major, so fuck off. Supramolecular nanoparticles are essentially virus-sized structures that are designed to bind weakly and reversibly into shape so that they can react biologically in predictable ways. Essentially, they have, whenever they're building these, it's very, very small material, obviously. It's virus size. And they pretty much just set it all up to where it can kind of build itself, but they give it no other choice but to build itself in the way that they want. It's really weird stuff.
Jackson, did you catch any of that?
Now, most of the time, whenever they use these very small particles, so it's nobody with like a dropper or tweezers doing this. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, whenever they do use these, it's for a medical purpose. It is intended to help move substances in the body in specific ways, like making sure drugs reach specific tissues. That's what the weak bonds are for. You put these nanoparticles in with the medicine. Whenever you administer the medicine, it adheres to it, and then based on how you have it shaped and what actual materials it's made out of, it will bind to the tissues that you want it to bind to. So it's for better medicine delivery.
Okay.
Yeah. So imagine
targeted.
Yeah, it's more targeted. Now, so I talked about the Alzheimer stuff and that stuff being involved with it. So what's the big deal here? Well, instead of the supramolecular nanoparticle being the delivery service, like it is usually with medicines, it is actually the therapeutic agent. These scientists are using the nanoparticles to directly change how the body behaves. I'll get into detail on how this works, but it's easier if I just start with how Alzheimer's fucks people up, what it's doing.
I forgot what I was supposed to tell him.
Okay.
There is a protein in our brains called amyloid beta. And as in Alzheimer's patients, it builds up around the brain tissue and around the blood vessels in the brain. That protein starts gumming up the works in the brain's vascular system, especially in the blood-brain barrier. In a healthy brain, blood flows through the brain, brings oxygen and nutrients, and then while it's in there, it carries out that amyloid beta protein that builds up. It's like a cleaning system. It carries it out. Drops stuff off, carries stuff out. And in Alzheimer's brain, while the blood still brings oxygen and nutrients, the waste removal function of the blood flow it has broken down. And since the protein isn't getting cleared properly, it builds up, causes blood vessels to stiffen and malfunction. That prevents the brain from getting what it needs with the blood flow, which starts stressing the neurons and eventually causes those neurons to die off. Hence, you start losing some functionality, especially in memories and stuff like that. Now, this is where the supramolecular nanoparticle comes in. They designed this particle to bind with amyloid beta and interact with the blood-brain barrier, which will then help restore the brain's ability to clear the protein out. So essentially, where the blood is failing to do this now, they put this particle in there and it starts gathering the waste, the protein, and getting it out. So rather than acting like drugs do or other treatments that try to slow the symptoms down, this is actually restoring lost function. It is the parts of the brain where the neurons aren't dead. They're just stressed and on the verge of dying. This is able to free it up where blood's able to get there again. And it's getting the brain to function like it's supposed to, and the blood where it's clearing the waste how it's supposed to.
Oh, very cool.
With all of that being said, this has only been tested on mice. It's exciting, but we are looking at years before we possibly see this even tested on a human being. That is for safety reasons, but also because companies can't continue to make record-breaking profits if they cure diseases. Can't test a cure for Alzheimer's people that are constantly losing brain function like you can a hastily created experimental vaccine. Don't want to do that. These people are just, slowly dying. But enough of that. I'm optimistic today.
I have a question about the memory function.
Mhm.
Did it say anything about like the limits it could go to? Because if it's creating
It
the ones
can't.
that are damaged, will it make it even better than what you were before?
It cannot. They whenever it's talk about the bits that are reversible, it's on the stress neurons. Once a neural pathway is dead, once parts of the brain die, it's dead. It's like the problem with strokes. If you don't get it on there quick enough, parts of your brain die, and once it's dead, it's dead. So it won't revive those, but parts that are experiencing a lot of stress and aren't functioning like normal because of the buildup of the protein, this would help with that, theoretically.
That's really cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, even if the pharmaceutical companies will probably squash this and we'll never see it, actually being used, it's still fun to be excited about it.
Unless you have Magic Johnson money.
Unless you have Magic Johnson money. The next one is exciting for everybody, not just Alzheimer's patients. But then again, I think the people that are probably going to be the most excited about this are meth heads and hockey players. Can you guess what it has to do with?
Teeth.
Yes. Scientists at Kyoto University have possibly discovered a way for human beings to regrow lost permanent teeth. Don't worry.
Hell yeah. I need to learn this one.
They are not going to inject people with shark or crocodile DNA and accidentally create some apocalyptic scenario where monster hybrid people start eating everybody. That's not happening. This is actually
a few rows of teeth.
Well, this is way simpler than that. Because once again, this is going to boil down to a protein. After we have after our permanent teeth grow in, there is what's known as a tooth bud where that tooth grew. It's still there and it's still alive, but it stops growing teeth because it's been turned off by a protein called USAG1. So these wonderful Japanese scientists manufactured an antibody that blocks USAG1's tooth grower turner offer function.
Keep that switch on.
Yeah. So the suppressor that tells your body no more teeth gets turned off, and then you can regrow a missing tooth. Of course, once again, the Mighty Mouse was voluntold to test this out, and the mice regrew teeth.
Human teeth? Mice grew human teeth.
No.
That'd be hilarious.
No. And then whoever was in charge of this, they wanted to make doubly sure.
I'm just thinking of a mouse with a perfect smile.
Oh, God, I hate you. I hate you so much.
You know you see it, too.
It's creepy. I don't like it.
Well, I know. Oh, God, that's funny.
They wanted to make doubly sure, so they also tested it on ferrets. And the ferrets regrew their teeth as well. And since the mice and the ferrets didn't start growing teeth out of their butts or toes or
that was my next question.
It got cleared for human testing in 2024.
Ooh.
Yeah. A recent article said that this could be approved and available to the general public around 2030.
Wow. Did it say how long it takes to regrow the teeth?
No. They're not going to give all that away.
Oh, okay. I just wonder if it's just a week or if it takes a while.
Think about like when you're a kid and you popped out a tooth. But then again, it takes a while to grow. Because teeth are not bones. They're similar, but the enamel thing it has a high metabolic cost. That's why we don't keep growing them all the time. So it takes a lot out of you. So I imagine it probably takes a few months.
That's interesting. That's a good one.
Yeah. Well, in a few short years, we could all give those sadists that call themselves dentists the finger and tell them to shove their medieval torture devices straight up their asses. Fuck you, I'm growing my own teeth.
Yeah, I'm starting over.
All right. Well, let's go into something a little more techie. How would you like some night vision contacts?
Ooh, that'd be great.
Science, once again, dabbling in the teeny tiny world of nanoparticles, have created contacts that allow people to see infrared light that is typically invisible to humans.
Hmm.
So, with this, you won't be able to see, like shut yourself into a pitch black room like a special forces soldier wearing night vision goggles. This isn't like that.
They're not that noticeable on your face.
Right?
But you could be like Vin Diesel in the movie Pitch Black, who could see in seemingly dark places that still had infrared light sources. So, like indirect sunlight. Now, this is pretty cool because these are not the same kind of flimsy, flexible nanoparticles that are designed to bind things that are used in biological stuff. These are ones that are based on that are physics based, and so they are solid crystalline structures that they put on these contacts that capture the infrared light, and then it converts it into photons that your brain can receive and process.
Oh.
So it's this invisible light, contacts catch it, and then flips it, and so that your brain can process it and see it and understand it.
Okay.
All right. Well, once again, the mouse has taken the exploratory steps on the plank of the SS Science. And while wearing their teeny tiny little contacts, they would react physically to infrared light. They also found brainwave patterns in the mice that indicated that they were seeing infrared light. So, and once they saw that the eyeballs of the mice did not explode, they let people try them out, and it worked.
Oh,
It
cool.
worked. Yeah, it worked even better than they thought it would because our eyelids are not designed to block out infrared light. So the people wearing the contacts would still see infrared light sources with their eyes closed.
Oh,
I see everything.
oh, that'd be miserable.
Well, no, it's not. Well, no, it's not quite the same. I mean, they would have an infrared light source going there, and you're not supposed to sleep in contacts, dumbass.
Oh, this is true. I never wore contacts.
I think you'll be fine.
Hmm.
All right, so it's been tested. The people didn't die or go blind. Where are my super night vision contacts? You can't have them.
Oh.
These are probably somewhere in the regulatory maze that is required for things that don't make politicians or pharmaceutical companies gazillionaires. Furthermore, the government has a tendency to keep really cool shit for themselves until they got something cooler to replace it with.
That's true.
Yeah, until the government gets X-ray contacts that have heat vision and 1,000 times zoom,
See through a wall.
We're just going to be left in the dark, literally. And now, finally, something that doesn't heal or enhance human beings, but I think it's cool. The Hapticlone is not a new invention. The first time it was announced, and I remember hearing about this, was back around 2016. The Hapticlone is a magic science box that was invented by researchers at the University of Tokyo. We'll start with a simple explanation. Imagine a box that you put an apple in. Now imagine a second box that could be in the next room, or it could even be on the other side of the world, that would generate a volumetric optical clone of the apple put in the first box. But this, isn't a 3D FaceTime. Who would get excited about that? That's boring. Imagine putting your hands into that box with that hologram or, what would I call it again? I hate calling it. I wanted to call it a hologram, but it's a volumetric optical clone. All right. But imagine putting your hand in with that hologram and actually being able to feel the real apple that's in that box on the other side of the world. And there you have it. That is the Hapticlone.
Wow. I know you said at the beginning, you prefaced this by saying, I don't know what the reason for this would be.
Yeah.
So why would they invent it? What were they thinking?
Wait.
Okay.
Let me cook. Let me cook. That's what the kids say. I'm on fire. This is bussin'. Whatever. All right. On God. Now for the science. No cap. Now for the science stuff. These geniuses in Tokyo scan, with the scanner box. They use existing technology, scanning with cameras, depth sensors, maybe a dash of structured light and a pinch of stereo vision for good measure. It's already existing tech, so all that part was normal. The real innovation is the output box, the one that generates the volumetric optical clone. They in that box, they have these things that project light into curved or angled mirrors that make the light appear as if it's originating in midair instead of from the light source. So that has a light source. It shoots at this weird angled mirror, and then it makes the light appear as if it's originating in midair. So now you have this floating bit of light in the air. That's all because of reflections.
Okay.
All right. So now you do that over and over again with many layers of images per second, and your eyes get tricked into seeing a true 3D object floating in space. So it's not just like one of those lights. We're talking a fucking fuck ton of them, and they're all going at all these different angles, making this thing appear like it's there. And it tricks, and it's just essentially tricking our eyes. That's all holograms are. They're tricking our eyes. So that's how it tricks our eyes. But how does it trick our sense of touch? The projector box also contains ultrasonic emitters that fire precisely timed sound waves at the fingers as they reach the perceived surface of whatever is being projected. These sound waves,
vibration?
Yeah, kind of. So they're not trying to perfectly recreate the texture. For the most part, they change frequency and intensity to suggest things like smoothness or roughness. And then, so as you reach out there and you're touching this nothing of light, you have all these little sonic things blasting your fingertips with these intense, little blasts. And then our brain fills in the rest that this feels like an apple or whatever it is in that box. We see it, we touch it, it tricks our brain. You're not touching the light, you're touching pressure shaped like whatever it is that's in that scanner box. And your nervous system just kind of goes along with the lie.
Put your hand inside the little box.
That's kind of cool. Our brain is really good about filling in the blanks on lots of things.
Well, sometimes it's too good at it. It makes us lazy and makes us miss things. That's why witness testimony is absolutely really worthless whenever it comes to like criminal cases. They can always be torn apart because people are terrible at recollection.
I forgot what I was supposed to tell him.
Speaking of recollection, I remember whenever I heard about this a long time ago, and I couldn't really figure out what would be the marketability of this invention. And then I thought about it. This was made in Tokyo. It's Japanese. And I think I started figuring out what its intended purpose is. Would you want to use this to, say, pet a dog hologram? Or test the texture of a piece of bread?
No.
Hell no. This is Japan, motherfucker. I assumed that by now they would have figured out how to scan a lady's cooter so nerds at home could fuck her hologram.
Yep.
I mean, and now with OnlyFans, this could put OnlyFans through the roof. If it's like, you have my subscription for $1,000, you could fuck my hologram pussy or touch my boobie. And then the girl never has to actually do anything. She just sticks her titty in a box or whatever. Or if she can't, or if they get where you can record it, you can just put a recording of your cooter out there and just like got random nerds sitting at home. Anyway, so let me get back to what I was saying. I still maintain, because even back then I suspected this, but I still maintain that this will be the final result of this innovation. But right now, they can only figure out how to replicate smoothness or roughness, and it's an external scan. I guarantee you these horny scientists are busting their ass to map a hoo-ha so that they can project it into a sex doll or a fleshlight. So, as soon as they do, Jason, I will let you know so that you can have them scan your butthole. Then you can really fuck yourself, Jason. Or I don't know if they can get it where it works with mouse. You can finally suck yourself off just like you always wanted.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I knew it was going to end up something pervy. It usually does.
And with me preparing to pimp out Jason's holographic hiney, that's where we will end this one. Let us know in the comments about any recent inventions or scientific discoveries you think sound good or that people will be able to have sex with. You know, whatever floats your boat.
Do you remember that video game that was only a hologram? I don't remember what it was called. It was just
you're talking about the one
on
like that they had at the arcades where it was a little cowboy traveling through time? It was in the big white thing. Yeah. And you'd shoot it like Indians and stuff. Yeah, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
That game was fucking hard and it was terrible. I hated it the same way that I hated Dragon's Lair because it was all like, push left. And it's like, I pushed left. And it's like, no, you didn't push it fast enough. Fuck you. I actually saw that one time. I think it was at like one of those nickel arcades. And I finally like really like sunk a lot into it because I was like, you're not going to get me now because I could play this 20 times for $1.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, pretty cool stuff, Squirrel. Pretty good stuff.
Any questions? You seem to have some earlier.
No, I just you answered one of them about the limits on the brain regrowing itself, and I was wondering if the teeth regrew wherever it wanted to regrow, if they had teeth growing out your earlobe. But
no,
you already answered that too.
Yep, it's just normal.
I really like that one. That one could be good.
Yeah, your tooth growing buds are up here. You ever seen like a kid's skull where they have all their permanent teeth up above their baby teeth? It is one of the freakiest, most alien things you'd ever see. Super fucked up. Well, on that happy note, join us next time when Jason, if he isn't too busy apologizing and saying thank you to every mouse he sees since they do so much for us, and if he's available after that, he'll tell us some things that'll make us say, wait, what?
I sure will.
You tell them thank you.
I'll send them a letter.
Bye.
Later.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Waywut. This show's available on YouTube, Good Pods, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and pretty much anywhere you listen to podcasts. We love to hear from you. Please comment on what you just listened to, pass along episode ideas, or just talk to us at Waywut Podcast in our Facebook group or on TikTok, Instagram, or X. Again, we really appreciate you joining us. Come back again to hear about some stuff that will make you say, wait, what?